So let's talk about willpower a little bit. A lot of times, people that do a good job of getting out of the pleasure trap think it's because they had really good willpower and they just were able to say no to more things than but they think therefore everybody else should too, and then just stop doing it. Just don't eat it.
Right.
And so how do we talk about willpower and then like the real thing, which is cleaning your environment so that you don't have to rely on your willpower to take care of you?
Right. Yeah. Well, some of that people who have a lot of willpower and to whom this comes very naturally. So that brings us into a conversation about personality. So people are who they are. We talk a lot about personality on the podcast and on other videos that we've done, but the science is really showing us just how genetically determined personality is and also how intractable it is. And a couple of the dimensions of personality that matter most for the pleasure trap are how conscientious you are and how disagreeable you are. So super conscientious people and super disagreeable people are like, what's the problem? Like, I have some rules, I follow them effortlessly. I never break the rules, and I have no problem telling people no, and like, no, I'm not going to take your food. So it does come easier to certain people than others. Some people, if you're less conscientious and you're more agreeable, you're much more susceptible to the food pushers out there who may have their own status dynamics and be trying to sabotage you. I made the cookies just for you, they're vegan. So if you're a more agreeable person and a less conscientious person in particular, those are just bigger challenges for those people. So a lot of that has to do with just the putting some strategies in place for dealing with pushers, for dealing with difficult people, and we have a couple of techniques that we can recommend, but recognizing that it's not equally easy for everybody, both because of the genetic predisposition that you have to put on and keep on weight and because of your personality. Both of those things are going to really direct how successful you are with this problem.
But nonetheless, there is a method that everyone can do and be successful doing, which is to keep the bad food out of the house.
Yeah, environment is the most important thing that you need to do. So, and of course this is, again, it can be much harder for certain people who are living with, you actually share a space with a spouse or some kids who have non-compliant food. So people will have specific issues about it. But if you have control over your environment, if you live alone or you have a supportive spouse, the most important thing you can do is just don't have any triggering food in your house whatsoever. There are plenty of things I can't have in my house. I tell people about almond butter all the time. Almond butter, if I need almond butter for some reason, I will never buy a jar of it. I will go to a bulk food store and grind a tablespoon at a time for a recipe that I need because I can't have a jar of it no matter how I tell myself I'll keep out of it.
That's how I'm with chips. Yeah. But like I could have a cupboard
chips.
Full of booze. I used to be a big drinker.
Oh, God,
for whatever reason, it was super easy for me to just stop that.
Sure.
And I can have it in the house.
Plenty of things.
Chips, no way.
Yeah, like I've been vegan for so long that I would never be tempted by dairy or meat or anything like that. You could have it around and I would never be getting into it. But yeah, chips, hummus, almond butter, all those kinds of things. Like everybody has their kryptonite, so you just like don't have it in your house. Don't make it harder for yourself than it already is, for God's sake. Like it's hard enough as it is. So controlling your environment is just the most important thing that people can do.